Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Old and Bitter. Three old crotchety guys just sitting here complaining and griping about everything possible, though we only have two old ones and a guy who's in kind of middle age. That's our boy, Ricky. Ricky, how you doing tonight?
Bitter.
Bitter, yeah. I can hear that.
Everybody.
Scott?
Doing good. Ready to go.
All right, so we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff today. We all had busy days at work, but first and foremost, news across the world. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce getting engaged. How do I feel? How do you guys feel? How does the world feel? I think the world is very happy for them. I think it's awesome. I think when you look at those two when they're together, you can really see that there's something there. And I wish them nothing but the best. And as they would say on their podcast, new news, they're getting engaged. So if you listen to that podcast, great podcast, congratulations to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. What's your thoughts, Ricky?
I'm happy for them as individuals, but as far as the whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, I don't care.
You don't care?
Don't care at all.
They
Why
could
don't
go
you?
away in your mind?
I mean, they're just two people who have decided to do life together, which is fantastic. And I think that in and of itself should be celebrated. But the fact that their celebrity status and what they are and who they are to the public eye and all that kind of stuff holds no weight for me. Celebrity status is very shallow in my opinion. So Travis Kelce has a job. It's in a very public eye, right? And so does Taylor Swift. And they're both very good at what they do, and they have a very large following. And probably much deserved to all of that stuff. So that's great. But I don't necessarily know that their marriage should be rubber stamped just because of their careers.
And kids, don't bother stopping at Ricky's house for Halloween because I don't think he's passing out candy.
Toothbrushes and fluoride toothpaste.
I don't think. On a different note, have you ever listened to their podcast?
New
Their
Heights?
podcast, yeah, it's New Heights is awesome.
Wait, who is this?
I like Jason Kelce.
Jason
He
Kelce,
cracks
Travis
me up.
Kelce.
Oh, I didn't even
podcast.
know they had a podcast.
Oh, it's the best. It's
Oh,
the
this
best.
is amazing.
It's
His-
hysterical.
his older
It's
brother
funny.
is-
It's hysterical.
Greatness.
Just, they do their new news thing and all that stuff. Just it's one of my favorite podcasts. What do you think, Scotty? What's your take?
Do you think this was breaking news? Like, did networks carry this when it happened and all, or just sports network?
You know what? And here's the thing.
But did
it made the
ABC,
headlines.
NBC? Was
it made
was
the ticker.
headlines?
Yeah,
When
it
I
made
pressed
a ticker.
new tab at work to look up something that I was trying to work out on at school for my tech stuff, I mean, that was the banner. Breaking news. Like we had just gone to war with somebody, but instead it was Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift had gotten married.
My take is I wish them
Engaged.
well. All her songs are about leading up to this moment, right?
I don't know.
I mean-
I listened to her album today, and it was awesome. I mean, it just even with the students today playing it. I mean, they all know her song. I always want to wish everybody well.
Yep.
And I think with all the publicity and all that stuff, it's like you said, she's probably the most popular person in the world.
Yeah.
And when you talk about football tight ends, like in today's age, if you're going to say, all right, name a football tight end you want on your fan, Travis Kelce is going to be the number one guy who pops up, and it's just, I mean, just everything that they've done, even like, when Jason and him were playing the Super Bowls against each other, and, they had a TV show on Netflix, which was great. I mean, I think it's awesome. Some people can say, is it really that important? I mean, I think it's important to a lot of people who are fans of them. I mean,
Sure.
I think it's great. I'm happy for them, and
I hate that every single thing they do together. I mean, it's happening now, so I guess it doesn't matter if they're married or not. But everything's going to be in the public eye.
well, that's with any celebrity, though. I mean, you look at Russell Wilson and is it Ciara?
Ciara.
Yeah, his wife, and all these other people. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of it. I mean, they're going to be under a microscope.
Wait, who are they?
Ciara is extremely attractive, for one.
Ciara's very attractive. She's a singer, and Russell Wilson is the quarterback for the New York Giants.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's great. I think it's because the thing that I don't want to say I struggle with, but I think a lot of times, like with celebrities and their stature, is that it's hard for them to find somebody that's very, very genuine, and from a relationship standpoint. Because you see so many of them, it's like this: I got divorced, or we broke up, we did this, we did that. But I'm not trying to play like a Dr. Phil or anything. But when you sit there and you look at them two together, I mean, you just see it in both of their eyes. I mean, the chemistry that they have is just like, it's like off the charts. So Travis and Taylor, wish you all the best and congratulations on your engagement and all that good stuff.
For as many
Go
kids.
to John's house for Halloween candy is what I'm hearing.
Yep, we're gonna give away Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift candy and all
Pest
that
dispensers.
stuff.
For all the kids that look up to her, I hope it's successful. I hope they can look up to a successful union between the two of them.
Yep, I agree. So tonight we're going to talk about fears. I mean, we all know we've got fears. They're afraid of something. We're just kind of going to go down the list and see what the three of us old people are afraid of. Bad credit. And just kind of see what happens. And you guys can listen in and think about it when you're listening to us on the road, saying, hey, you know what? That might be a fear of mine too. So, Scotty, we're going to kick things off with you. What is a fear?
Before we get into the classical, fear of flying, snakes, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to bring up artificial intelligence. And I'm doing this from a standpoint of there are a lot of, we've probably all used it. I think there are a lot of dangers to it. There are lawsuits out there. When AI takes over the parental aspect, when 14, 15, 16-year-olds are typing into AI and a chatbot is giving them advice. I don't know, as a society, is that something we should be afraid of? And I guess from a standpoint of, there are some lawsuits out there because some kids have taken their own life, and some of it's based on some things, advice, those kind of things they've heard back from artificial intelligence and these chatbots. I don't know. Should we fear AI, Ricky? In some aspects, or should there be more regulation, I guess?
Yes, we should fear AI, but no, I don't think it's because of that. And I'll tell you why. I would fear AI taking over more roles as a whole, as like an employee, and AI becoming more intelligent than human beings, or better at our jobs, and so therefore we end up trusting it more than ourselves, or it doing something to the point to where we can't comprehend what it's doing, and so anyway we lose the plot, if that makes any sense. It's got a plan in the background that we're unaware of. The plan is so intricate that it could orchestrate it.
It's playing chess and it's 3 steps ahead of us.
Yeah, it's playing 5D chess and we're just stuck at 3D.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when I would say that we need to become afraid of AI, because we don't really know its motives. And that's the big deal. Like, how do you judge intent on an artificial intelligence? To your point, and the only reason I say I wouldn't be afraid of it because of your point is because there have been people on chat rooms for, I don't know, decades that have communicated with other people and gotten them to take their own lives, given, different advice and whatever else. And at this point, an AI is no different than that.
There is
in fact, yeah, I mean, now you've got something that you can go and take to legislation and try to get it honed in. Whereas a lone person out there who can change their name every other minute or hour, or sign into one of their many, hundreds of accounts to go and troll kids on chat rooms to try and get them to take their own lives, which there are some sick and sadistic people out there who have psychological issues who are actively trying to do that kind of stuff. Those are the people I'd be more afraid of than an artificial intelligence.
So I haven't seen the second part of the Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's that whole entity thing, right?
Yeah.
Was it the Dead Reckoning or whatever it was called? I don't know.
It's
but I haven't seen the second one. It is a movie, but
Spoilers.
movie is
Should we say?
Way to go,
reality.
thanks. For those of you who
Spoilers.
haven't seen it, Sky just ruined it for you. So
ruined nothing.
just wait till it comes on Netflix or
But the entity
HBO or
gets
something.
power, and I guess I saw a lawsuit against Sam Altman and Chat GPT, where this kid was. And people say, well, does a chatbot have free speech? I don't know, but typing things in, like if I wanted to kill myself, how would you recommend I do it? And it was giving like step-by-step instructions.
Yeah.
What kind of knot would you tie? Hey, can you help me write a suicide note to leave to my parents? And these parents found this out after their son committed suicide.
But I think the sad thing is you can find all those questions without even using AI. You go on the internet and you're going to find this because someone's going to put something like that on there, which is just, it's ridiculous and it's sad.
So you're saying you don't think that lawsuit will go anywhere?
I'm not saying it won't. I think it will, because those things shouldn't be coming from an AI. And so basically what we're doing is we're trying to train a digital toddler on what responses it should give.
But at the same time, they created it for that reason, to answer questions, to do. Now, I'm not saying that in general. I'm just saying.
So they need real life
questions.
things in order to answer those questions?
Think of this like a sculpture. When you start, AI is a sculpture, right? So you start out with this big solid block of rock. And slowly but surely, we chisel pieces off of it that we don't like to try and make it into a form and in an image that we like and that we want. Well, that's effectively what we're doing with AI. This thing has been giving answers that we don't like, so we need to go and take a chisel to it. Yeah. And eventually, it's going to take the form and the shape of something that hopefully we would want. The problem, I think, and the fear, and this is the fear that I have, is that this sculpture may take its own shape and form, and it may not be one that we eventually will be able to have the chisel to take off pieces to.
The entity.
It may decide what it wants to look like. That's a problem.
Yeah, it's just, that's just, it's.
Heartbreaking story, seeing that lawsuit and those family, and there's multiple kids who've taken their life. They can trace some things back to AI. But to your point,
sure.
Ricky, they can, chat rooms, what kids tell them at school, whatever.
Anything.
That's a human element, at least. This is not human.
Right.
So I don't know. I know, John, that's not the phobias and such that you wanted to start with, but it was on my mind, so I thought I'd throw it out there.
And so let me ask you, Scott, does that stuff scare you?
I don't know. It's like energy that's not harnessed in some respects, And
I guess that's my question.
I don't know.
Is it the fact that it was able to provide answers to kids and them be assuaded
kids who are not fully intellectually developed?
Yeah.
Impressionable.
So would you be more afraid of artificial intelligence doing that, or actual people out there with nefarious means?
Oh.
Because now people out there actually have intent, and I don't think AI does.
Right.
And
they give you, you can type something as, hey, I want a letter to write just a basic letter thanking somebody, and it's going to kind of give you a generalization of something that's, now granted, 95% of the time when I ask it for a letter, it writes things 10 times better than I ever could, because there's no misspellings like when I send stuff out. But I don't know, that's a horrible thing to have to go through. And I think it's just, thoughts and prayers go out to those families. It's just,
absolutely.
But I just, it's crazy to think though. That, but Ricky brings up a good point. Can you hold the person who created that aspect of AI accountable for it, or do you hold, no difference if somebody would just jumped on the internet and this is somebody, hey, this is how you do this is how you make your car faster, blah 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 blah, and then something, it's just, I don't know. It's it's very, very sad. It's tough to swallow. Like you said, definitely not the direction I was going. But again, it's something that we all have to deal with.
I wonder, John, is there a fear of AI? Is that a phobia?
Oh, I'm sure there probably is. Let me research that. I can research that and find out. But I'm going to kick my fears off a lot different. And I never used to be this. Well, I've always kind of been this way, but
Always.
but no, it's just the older I get, the more and more the fears become greater and greater. And that's just the fear of the ocean. I won't. I'm not going in there. I'm not setting my toe in there. I'm not setting my ankle in there. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Now, when I was a little kid, I'd go up to maybe my waist or something. But after that, I'm like, nope, not doing it, not doing it, not doing it. Because you know who lives in there, and that's his house, and I'm not going in his yard to play. I want to just sit on that beach, and I'll be just fine. But yeah, at the same time, I want one of my bucket lists is I want to go
In a steel cage?
in a steel cage, but attached to the boat, not go under, but just like they have somewhere it's like this attached, and you just have a snorkel and you go in it. And I want to see a great white. That's one of my.
Yeah.
My bucket list things. I just don't. But like outside that cage, nope. I just don't. And people, was it because of the movie Jaws? Well, I saw the Jaws movie when I was moving from California to upstate New York. We stopped in San Antonio, and our dad took us to the movies, and we saw that. And hell, my sister couldn't even open up the ice maker because she thought a shark was going to come out. And then the next day we're swimming in the pool before we leave. And my dad goes, don't forget there's sharks in the pool. And we're like, what? Even I was like, what, 7? The whole thing just, because that was such a terrifying movie.
Yeah.
And I think it brought light on shark attacks and all that other stuff. So mine first and foremost is nope, not stepping in the
Well,
middle.
every July on Discovery, it's like what, 3
Shark Week, yeah.
4 weeks of nothing but shark programming.
And I'll watch
Right.
them all. I mean, I'm fascinated by them, but I'm just like,
But I'm sure the statistics, though, of something happening to you by going in the ocean compared to driving your car.
man, I probably look like a
Lean
Snickers
more.
bar when I go in that ocean to a shark.
Right.
She's like, hey, look at that bold old guy. Let me just go ahead and chomp on that guy. I think I'll have that guy for a snack. No, thank you. You guys aren't afraid of the water? Ocean? You can just go jump in the ocean, no problem, Ricky?
No, I'm not too afraid of the ocean. It's so big and vast that I think probably the distance between me and any other thing in the ocean is really, really far.
Not true. That you don't see them. They lurk in the shallows.
And that's fine. They can lurk several miles under the shadows there.
No, I step in the ocean. They feel like they smell a barbecue. And go, hey, there's something up close to the water.
Do you know that the ability for humans to smell rain is several times greater than sharks' ability to smell blood?
Rain?
Rain.
Like out of the sky rain?
Yeah, there's a name for the scent. I read this in a news article like 3 weeks ago,
I've never heard of that.
and I don't remember what the name of the scent is, but apparently our ability to scent or smell like fresh rain after it's rained is however many times greater than a shark's ability to smell blood.
I'm calling
it's
it
true.
true. I'm not calling not true.
So you're completely safe.
Not true.
Completely safe.
What's your fear, Scott?
I'll stick with the ocean part, though. Little story. We had a trip down by Freeport a few years ago, and each of our kids took a friend with them, and it had a shelf that went out like yards and yards and yards off the beach, right? And my wife and I are on the beach, and a shelf where they could stand up, and there are ways out there, like there are little specks out there, but they're still standing. It's not open swimming, and they are just out there playing, wave jumping, whatever, but it was all on the shelf that just extended off of Freeport down there south of Galveston Island here in Texas. And we get home from that trip, and my wife and I, that Shark Week stuff, and they're showing aerial footage looking down at water, and we're seeing like the area that we stayed, and you just see these dots just swimming and circling all around. And we're like, we took the kids and we took a friend of each, and they were just out there.
And Ricky says
we're
that
like,
they're a lot far away from them under the water.
That big drone aerial footage looking down, there were lots of them swimming all around in that area.
Picked a spot where they were.
And oh man. So we were just glad we were back. But
They say if you turn a shark upside down, he like goes like into like a deep sleep.
That's an alligator.
No, I'm serious. Like sharks too. They said if you turn it upside and rub its belly, it goes into like this comatose where it's just like floating. I've seen it on like Shark Week, and Shark Week is true. Yeah, but like who's gonna go in there and wrestle a shark when hey, this guy, before he bites me, if I turn him upside down and rub his belly, he'll go comatose, and then I can swim to shore.
That's like me. If you turn me upside down and rub my belly, I tend to fall asleep. I mean, that's just nature, man.
Yeah, I usually burp if someone's rubbing my belly.
all right, I'll throw another one out there. I don't know how you guys are at the doctor's office, but anytime I'm getting a shot or they're drawing blood, I do not look at the needle.
Nope. Yep. You know what
Kind of
that's
got
called?
a little, I didn't totally faint all the way, but you get dizzy and all that, and it's like
Fear of needles. It's called doctophobia. Look it up.
That's what it's called.
Afraid of your doctor. Afraid of his needles. Can't do it. I'm
like looking out the window. So, hey, did you do anything fun over the weekend? Just trying to talk to the tech and totally distract myself as I'm looking off the opposite direction. And a good one is they got that blood drawn right away, and you don't feel a thing. I've had times where it's like putting it in, pulling it out, putting it in, digging around. It's like, oh my gosh,
I watch
get
it
it
every
done
time.
already. You watch it every time?
I watch it every time.
No, not me. I can't.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I just, the needle part freaks me out. And then to sit there and just like Scott, say, oh, I mean, man, your veins disappeared. I'm like, yeah, because they're afraid of the needles. They ain't stupid.
I look away and then turn back, and there's like 4 vials of blood, and I'm like, how'd you get 4 out of there like that
I'll
fast?
tell you a quick story. When I
would not like watching that.
I had to have back surgery once, and I had to go in and get blood work prior to. And I'm already like sweating, and this nurse comes in, just sweet as can be, and she's like, honey, what's your problem? I go, I don't like needles. I said, I just can't stand needles. She said, oh, come on now. Someone like you're afraid of needles? I'm like, I am petrified of needles. She's like, let me see your arm. And I'm like, no, not yet, I'm not ready. And all of a sudden she's just like, oh, would you stop? And she puts a little thing around my bicep, and then she's just like, have you always been afraid of needles? I go, yep. And she grabs my hand again. I'm like, no, I'm not ready yet. And she goes, oh, would you just stop? She goes, how old are you? And I'm just like, well, I'm like 45, which was a long time ago. And so she sits there and she goes,
So it's like 30 years ago.
yeah, at least. And then I'm sitting there going, no. And she goes, would you stop and get out of my room? I'm like,
She's done.
you're done? And I go, oh my God. I gave her a hug. I said, you are the best nurse that I've ever had. Because when they miss it, or they say like, every time I go for my physical, they're like, hey, we need to give blood. And it's just like, I'll drink a bunch of water too, because I want to go in there dehydrated, but I'm sitting there and it's just like, your veins are hiding. I'm like, you're dang right they are, because we're not going to get stuck with no needle.
Ricky,
Not happen.
why do you watch?
I guess I'm just
Find it fascinating?
I'm curious about the whole thing. I've always had really good veins. And
Here
so
we go again.
yeah.
All about Ricky and his veins.
Sydney Sweeney and I guess the genes or whatever. But I've got a vein that goes right there, and that's real easy for them to hit it every single time. And so I've never had an issue just kind of sticking my arm out and like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Not happening.
And I just sit there and I watch it. I don't know. It's the mechanics of it. It's the whole deal. They put the little vial in and it just kind of spurts out everywhere. And I'm like, wow, I guess my heart's pumping enough to pressurize enough to do all that kind of stuff. It's interesting. It's just, to me, I'm fascinated by the biology of everything and how it's how it does it,
That's
so
pretty crazy.
I approach it all with curiosity. In fact, and I won't tell this story on this podcast, but I had a surgery in 2020, that I sat there and I watched the entire thing. I watched him do the whole thing.
They didn't knock you out?
No, they did not knock me out. They used local anesthetic. And I watched the entire thing.
What was it, like bite on a towel and just look at it like deliverance or something or whatever it was?
No, I wasn't.
So it was local, John, so he was numb.
It was local anesthetic. Yeah, I was numb.
You know what? Speaking of numb, let's give a shout out to my doctor, Jason Montgomery of the Lone Star Dental Group. Best dentist in the world. So here's the thing right here.
Yeah, we need a sound effect every time he says his name.
Dr. Mont, Lone Star Dental Group. So here's a funny thing too. Have you ever had a dentist where it's like they give you the Novocaine and it's just like painful. It's just like they're in your gum and I remember even as a kid, you get a cavity or something, they would just like, shoot you up and it'd be like, and then even as a kid, Lone Star Dental Group, Dr. Mont, you don't even feel it. He grabs your cheek, he does a little shake, on your cheek, it's just like, are you okay? Let me know if you feel anything. And I'm like, and then 2 seconds later, I can't feel my whole entire face.
Wow.
He's awesome.
He's got it down.
He does. He's the greatest dentist ever. I'm just telling you.
So you guys have not had the experience of being at the dentist and being like, I don't think I'm supposed to feel that, am I?
No, I never had that.
Yes, I have.
I know.
I have.
Happened once to me, and I'm like, oh, time out.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep, all the time. They don't shoot me up with enough. They've got to give me extra because I got a high tolerance for that kind of crap.
I used to like when they give you the nitrous for a little bit to kind of help you relax. And it wouldn't be like tired, but it just kind of helps you relax.
Yeah.
Which is good. And then they would go in and do the little jaw shake. Because you see that thing that looks like something like you do on your car engine or something with the needle and everything. It was so big and it's, they just shake your cheek a little bit and next thing you know, good to go.
Man, so I had some impacted wisdom teeth. This is, again, back in like 2018, I think it was. And there was of course, I'm from Little Podunk, Arkansas, right? So there wasn't a lot out there. And there was a place called Aspen Dental. And if you're listening, don't go to Aspen Dental. We're giving a shout out.
We're looking for sponsorship.
Don't go to Aspen Dental. No, don't go there. And if you could see the finger I'd like to hold up, it's not one that. Anyway, nonetheless, read between the lines. Don't go there. I had impacted wisdom teeth, and one of them was growing kind of like sideways even, and they were going to give me a Valium and something or other to just kind of knock me for a loop when I got there. And then they were just going to give me some local anesthetic and just go at it. They weren't going to put me out for any of the surgery.
You felt the whole thing?
To get my wisdom teeth extracted. Well, and here's the other part too. So I remember when I scheduled the surgery, they gave me this sheet, this waiver that I was supposed to sign and all that other kind of stuff. And so I signed it right then and there and gave it to the receptionist before I left because they gave me the prescription for the drugs that I was supposed to take an hour before surgery. And what they said was you wake up in the morning, you take these meds, these antidepressants or psychotics or whatever the heck they are. They're like, what is it, Xanax and something else, Ativan or something, I don't remember. They gave me 2 different ones, I remember. And then they gave you some painkillers too. And you go to the pharmacy and you pick them up the day before. And you're supposed to take them like an hour or 2. So like I was supposed to take them and then drive to the dentist office to get this stuff done. So I walk in the dentist office and they're like, yeah, we can't find your paperwork. And the thing is, I did this during Christmas break because I worked at a school, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't have to take any time off of work because you're supposed to schedule several days out, take off and recover and all that. And I was like, yeah, I did this purposefully so that I wouldn't have to take any time off of work because I've got this extended time off. Well, yeah, we can't find your paperwork. And I was like, that's okay. I was like, just hand me another thing, I'll sign it. Well, but now that you've taken the meds, you're under the influence, and we can't accept any paperwork taken from anyone.
Oh my gosh!
And I said, how did you give me the drugs and the prescription for the drugs if I didn't sign the paperwork first?
Good point. What'd they say to that?
And she's like, I'm so sorry. And it was the receptionist. She could tell I was very frustrated. I don't think ever been that outwardly public.
Was she also like the dentist too?
No, she wasn't. She was just a sweet secretary. No, I felt pretty bad for her because I was very frustrated at that point. I was like, I'm going to have to find another time to take off, and we're going to have to reschedule this because the person who comes around, that's the other thing. The person who does this work only they travel from one Aspen Dental to the next, to the next, to the next, and they only show up once a month.
And network, yeah.
And so you just got to hope that the traveling orthopedic surgeon shows up for you to get your impacted wisdom teeth out. So I scheduled a different appointment with an oral surgeon, and it's a good thing I did because I had a nerve that ran right there past my wisdom teeth. And he was like, if we nick that, you might lose all feeling, in your jaw, in your lower jaw.
It'd be great if you were a boxer, though.
That would have been fantastic.
Feel nothing.
I could have started a second career.
Exactly.
But I was going to hear all
the... really take a punch.
I was going to hear all the crunching and everything from them.
That's like
breaking the teeth and all that.
Was it Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler where he had the dead foot?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You could step on and do whatever you want.
Poke it with the ice poker.
Yeah, exactly.
Fireplace poker.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm kidding. I don't feel that. I can't feel that at all. Nothing at all. What about like a fear of heights? I have a fear of heights. I didn't used to.
Yeah.
I have a big fear of heights because a couple of years ago, my wife and I went to Chicago for Christmas. Honest to goodness, best Christmas I ever had. It was just the two of us, and we stayed at the Marriott downtown Chicago. And I had booked like tickets to a Bulls game, tickets to a Bears game because they were both playing at the same time. And then I took her to a theater show of A Christmas Story. And we get there, and it's like, it was already cold because we had stopped in St. Louis and we're driving over and it's starting to snow. And then I was like kind of bummed because I'm like, man, there's just no snow. It's not going to happen. So anyway, she goes, well, we're on the 14th floor, which I go over and I look, we get to the hotel room, nice hotel room, Marriott, nice place. But I look at the window and I'm like, seeing all these buildings way down there. And, it's like, man, this is a long ways. So I took the desk and I put it in front of the window because my wife's like, what's wrong?
This isn't even open air. You're fully enclosed inside.
Doesn't matter. You look out there, that's high. I'm not doing that. So, but then here's the thing. So to kick it off, so then like the next morning we wake up, we're going to a Bears game and I'm just like, man, and like, hey, you know what? I hope there's going to be snow. And sure enough, God granted it's the greatest Christmas ever because it started snowing. I'm in Soldier Field,
I remember those
bundled
pictures
up with my wife, and it just we're playing the Cleveland Browns, and we actually won the game. I think so. It was really, really good. And we must have got like 6 or 7 inches that day. And so the next morning we wake up and the whole window is like frozen over, and there's icicles on the inside of the window too.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like freaking out. I'm like wanting to tell my wife, so we need to push the bed farther away from this because what happens? She's like, there's not going to be like a vortex where you get sucked out of the window. I said, doesn't make a difference. And like even like bridges or mountains, and then she's like, hey, let's go to the Sears Tower and stand on the invisible floor. I'm like, not doing that either because we went to, was it John Hancock Building?
Yeah.
I went to the very top, and even though
wait,
I'll
you did
look
go up
over,
there, then.
Huh?
You did go up there in the open air.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no. This was in the restaurant. Heck no, I ain't going out there. And so I look out and I'm like up at the window and go, man, because I'm always like, what happens like if the window was just it opened up and you fell? I'm like, nope, not doing it. I can't do heights. Can you do heights, Ricky?
I don't like heights. I don't like them, but I can do them. It's one of those that I realized from a very young age I don't like, and so I spent the rest of my life just going, do I want to live life, afraid of missing out on things that I'm curious about.
Or do I want to spend more time at Aspen Dental?
Yeah, exactly. And screw Aspen Dental. So I'm going to go up to the top of the Sears Tower and I'm going to look over and I'm going to look at it and go, yeah, that's scary, but I really want to see this. And the fact of the matter is there's so much in life that we have that's beyond our control that the likelihood of all that stuff happening is slim to none. And could it happen? Sure. But I mean, who's to say that John, you have dinner and you choke on a piece of food and that's how you go out? Who knows how it is that God's going to take us out of this world?
Right.
I have no freaking clue. I don't know. I have no idea.
Speaking of that, before we go on,
Yeah.
check out our last episode on Old and Bitter about religion to hear more about all this stuff as well.
Yeah.
All right, Ricky, sorry to interrupt.
It's like, it's a wild card, really. You're playing the Uno game of life and you pull a wild card. You have no earthly idea how it is that life is going to end for you. And so I just feel like, hey, God's given me the opportunity to go and experience these things. And he's kind of saying, yeah, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. I think sometimes we pray and our prayers are answered yes or no. And sometimes it's, I don't care, pick whichever one you want to pick. It's permissible. Do whichever one. Yeah. And so I don't go up there and go, because it's just one of those deals. It's like, well, God, if this is my time to go, then it's my time to go. I have no control over whether this window pops out or not.
Yeah.
But I do have control over whether it is that kind of like the talents in the Bible. What do I want to invest my time in? Well, part of what Jesus, or what the whole parable is over, is giving these people talents and investing in everything else. But I think our life and our time and our experiences are part of the investment that we're given. And it's not just monetary things and physical things that we receive back, it's experiences. And sometimes these experiences grow us as people in ways that we could never fathom, And so my not facing these things that I'm unsteady about, for sure, but that unsteadiness really doesn't last long, because I'm like, look at what he's giving to me right now.
And you don't have any control, because, like, for me, I have mega anxiety.
Yeah, I do
really
too.
Bad, and I have really bad OCD. And it's just like, there's times where I would worry, and I worry. And it was rougher for me when I was single, because you didn't have any support around you. You didn't have anyone to talk to, or what. There's times where it's like my wife will come in and she says, honey, it's fine. Calm down. Everything's going to be fine. And then, like, anytime I get really, really anxious about something, or I start to worry about something, I'm always just like, there's a verse and I always say it out loud. I say to myself, fear not, for I am with you. Yep. Fear not, for I am with you. And I use that all the time. And honest to goodness, it works all the time from a standpoint of just take a deep breath in, because it's like how I am sometimes. I always think the worst. I'm going to the doctor for a dentist. Oh, you know what? He's going to find a tumor on my tooth. Something's going to happen, or I'm going for my physical. Oh, they're going to find something, this. And it's always like, the negative aspect of it, but it goes back to what you said. We don't know when our life is going to have something tragic in it, or have, or when it's our time to pass. We all want to live till we're hundreds of years old, but that's not what's going to take place. And it just, to get, and I don't mean this in a light sense, because I know so many people deal with depression and anxiety and all that such, which I do as well. It's just that when you think about it, you don't have any control over it. So it's like, I do my best to try to block it out, and I'm not going to say it always works, because there's some days I have really, really bad anxiety or bad OCD, but it's just like, but at the same sense, it's just like, I have to, like, all that worrying for something, you worry 2 weeks for something, and then you get your report, you're fine, everything's good. And then you read that sigh of relief till the next time you go in for your next, physical.
Yeah. Right.
These people that fly constantly, they fly 3 times a month or whatever, they're just so used to that. I take off, landing on a plane.
Yep.
Where's your seat on a plane, John? I assume you're the aisle, you're not the window?
Well, because I'm bigger than the average person, they put me in like the bigger aisle part. I'm not like obese.
Wait, you're
like super like obese. I'm just kind of, I'm built like a block of cheese with a head on it.
You're opening the emergency door for all of us, and you're scared of heights.
But see, here's the thing. I don't, like, for me to help people, I don't. That I don't have that fear. I mean, it's like,
but you have a mission then.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but
you kick in.
Yeah, I mean, I like the window seat, or even like standing by, doing the emergency door kind of thing.
The one thing with heights that I would like to do is, and I think my wife would enjoy this, maybe for an anniversary sometime, but go up in a hot air balloon.
Nope. Not doing that either.
No way, huh?
Heck no. Those things explode and you go right to the ground. Boom. You lose that helium or whatever it's in that thing. That thing cuts off. Boom. You're just going to float right to the ground, and you're going to see when you're going to hit. Nope.
I think I would love to go up in a hot air balloon.
Heck no. Ain't no chance. Yeah. Would you, Ricky?
I I don't know.
Ricky
Undecided.
and I would be
don't know.
down with the
I
sandbags.
don't know. I don't like heights. There's a reason I don't get on roller coasters either, man. I hate
Nope,
roller
can't
coasters.
do that either.
Can't do it. Now, I will say this, airplanes, we're talking about biggest, like airplanes. I hate airplanes. Hate them. I get on them anyway.
Necessary evil.
It's one of those things, but I hate them. When one year we were going to Disney World, Russell was 7. He's 18. Oh, he's almost 18 now. So this is 10 years ago. We were going to Disney World and we were flying into the park, right? And the airplane dropped several thousand feet because of whatever turbulence that we hit, which is, I mean, to the pilots, it's probably like well, that was pretty bad. Yep, that sucked. Okay, let's
Another
keep going. Surely I've hit turbulence before, and it's just kind of like bumps or whatever, or you feel a sudden drop, and you just kind of keep going, and things suck. But even the stewardess were really rattled on this one. They were getting over there and buckling in the whole thing. But my thing was Hudson, my youngest at that point. And Patty, if you're listening, I'm giving sensitive information out here, so feel free to go and look up my son Hudson. Anyway, he was like 3 months old. And so I'm looking over, my ex-wife's holding him there, and I see my 7-year-old son, and as a dad, you've got that innate instinctual, you want to protect your family. Where are the exits? What can I do? Where are the parachutes, and what can we do, and how can I jump in front of the bullet and whatever else, right? But you can't in an airplane, in a metal tube. We're all going down together. There's nothing I could do to save my kids at that point. And had I been flying alone, I would be just fine with airplanes to this day. But because of that, I couldn't save my kids.
Yeah.
And I felt completely powerless, which, Counselor Scott, as you know, trauma is created in instances with which we have no powers or no, ability to protect ourselves or get out of the situation with which we are put in. And that's how somebody's traumatized.
Yeah.
But it's like for like people who have such a fear or like the anxiety of it. I mean, is that like always thinking of the worst? That's got to be some type of fear, right?
That's a survival mechanism.
Yeah, I think you mentioned getting out of a situation. I am not a big fan of crowds.
Yeah.
If I go to a ballpark, if I go to a game or whatever, I want to sit on the end. If I'm in a big crowd, I'm always looking around. Okay, where, like Ricky said, where's something happens? Where's the exit? What's our route going to be? And my kids make fun of me all the time. I'm not a big fan of crowded spaces.
And he's not a fan of walking up to Chicago police officers and just saying hello.
No, that's not what John did. John was harassing Chicago's finest.
No, we went to Chicago for a Cubs. We made it a Cubs weekend.
By the way, they're working, Ricky.
Yeah.
We spent 3 days in Chicago. Had a great time. Went and saw them play the Astros at Wrigley, and then we took the was just a train, just a regular train, wasn't it? Subway, not a subway, but it was just like the train
to
to Milwaukee and watched them play the Brewers. But we were in Chicago after we went to one Cubs game, and then we had dinner, walking around. I go, hey Scott, let's just go get our pictures taken with those police officers. No, John,
They're not the mimes in New Orleans, Lafayette Square, where you can walk up to them and smile and just get a photo.
I bet that made their day.
But so here's the deal.
He was actually very, very friendly, and he talked to us.
They
And
had little checkers on their hat and everything. So I said, hey,
probably
fellas,
talked to us for about 10 minutes. They were very, very kind.
Because I said,
Chicago's finest. It was a very fun
picture. So I got a picture
fun
of
time.
the officers, and then we started talking to them. And like one was a White Sox fan, which didn't go well with us. But
Cubs fan,
we
White
probably
Sox
sat
fan.
there. It was longer than 10 minutes. About 30 minutes just talking to them. And they were like super, super nice guys.
Yeah.
Just like, where are you from? We tell them we're from Texas, whatever. And
But see, some people have a fear of approaching people like that. But John, he just walked right up there. And
John's never met a stranger.
that's correct.
so we're, those spaces and the things you don't control. John, Ricky, got us, our 8th grade class, tickets one time to a San Antonio Spurs game. He knew a buddy that was in the NBA. We go down there. So we got 78th graders that we go down there, and I am the
He's in charge.
lead administrator on this trip.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, we just hand all these kids a ticket and just go. And, not that kids don't go places, but at the same time, it's a It's a different venue. I don't know the venue. John doesn't know the venue.
He was very unrest.
I'm standing at the back, just trying to look at okay, this one
counting everybody.
This
every
one got
5 minutes.
This one went to the concession stand. This one's in the bathroom. This one's doing that. And I don't know.
I'm eating
Something
pretzels, popcorn, Slurpee. I didn't care. I was watching
John's
the dang
cheering
game.
game on, and I'm like, dude, help me watch these kids. And it was a blast.
But
It was a
here's
lot
the-
of fun. But that was,
I know.
you're in charge,
Right.
and that brings a responsibility.
absolutely.
Kind of what you're saying with the kids, Ricky. It's like, where are these kids right now?
And it was, and I'm not.
And not all kids, here, little side fact, not all kids do what they're supposed to
Correct.
all the time.
Lies.
But it's like, like for him, I could tell it was bothering him. Not in like a negative, but you could just say there was an uneasiness because
Right.
we were all responsible.
But we did it, and it was fun.
It was, but it turned out great. The kids were great. We had talked to the kids.
It was a fun
prior.
experience.
We talked to kids before we walked in. This is how it works. If one goes to the bathroom, 5 go to the bathroom, and you take a supervisor with you. We'll stand outside the doorway, whatever the case may be, and do it that. But the kids were phenomenal. It was a blast, and we've never done a game since.
I was gonna say now,
It was a one-time experience.
Scott, would you do this again?
Yes.
Yes, but I would like a smaller group.
Okay.
fun. We had it.
But here's
It was
the
a
other
good time.
question.
It was a
Here's
good
the
time.
other question,
Yeah.
and this is going to go into something different here. Is this a lot like when you raise your first kid and you're super scared of raising that first kid because you've never raised a daggum kid before, and then you've raised the first kid and then you get the second one, you're like, oh, I don't care if you eat that French fry.
Oh
Or-
my God! I'm
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
speak for Scott.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
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 Wait, John's not the oldest in his family.
I feel like
Lisa's
the
older, right, John?
second time
John was
around-
the second. So.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him with both his kids. Now,
Yeah.
in all honesty, he's a phenomenal dad. He's
Oh,
a great
I'm sure
dad.
he is.
But
Here
There
he goes. He's
is-
going to say that I don't give Justin the
There
love
is
that
a
I
little
give
bit.
Paige.
where it's just like
These are
his-
falsehoods,
His
folks.
oldest will make a mistake. He's like, man, I'm just like, man, what did you do that for? All right, that's okay. And then his son, idiot.
Yeah.
That is not true.
Idiot.
These are falsehoods.
Justin, we
folks.
love you, man. We love you. Paige, we love you too.
And just for you, I've never seen the dynamic between any of them, so I don't know this.
He's got
This
two great
is a
kids.
psychological question, but I wonder if the second child or the second Spurs game would be a little easier for you.
Yeah, the
because
first
you've
kid-
already had the first one.
The first kid can jump off the back of the couch and you go nuts. And the
Yeah.
second kid, you're like, hey, try a flip this time when you do it.
Let Daddy push you this time.
Why don't you jump up in the air and then I'll push you while you're in the air and I'll see how far you can go.
But when you bring up the kids, Ricky, the hospital, that baby's born, they put a band on you, a band on the kid,
Yeah.
make sure the numbers match, all that. When they said it's time to go home and you got that kid in that car seat, yeah. And my wife and I talk about it to this day when our daughter was first born. It's like, holy cow, they're letting us walk out of here with this kid. And we are totally responsible right now.
it kinda like the
That's a
same
little freaky.
Is it kind of like
Yeah.
the same thing
The
like
first
when you
time.
buy a puppy? You bring the puppy home and you're like, man, I got this little puppy because like now I got to take care of this thing.
a lot of people, I've heard this.
Because I don't
from a
have
lot of
any
people.
kids, so I'm just kind of relating it to it like a little
Yeah.
big old puppy that looks at you with these little eyes. It's like, you're going to take care of me and I'm going to go tinkle on your floor right now.
Well, this person's looking up to you. You're the role model. They're going to learn everything from you. And like, man, I don't know. That's just a rush of major responsibility.
So there's a new Superman movie that's out. And I didn't have the fear of taking my kid home. I really didn't.
Not a fear. It's just you realize that, man, this is a big responsibility.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, there's this big responsibility, but I was more focused on trying to pay attention, because I feel like with a puppy, I feel like with a kid, I feel like with anything else, the needs will become apparent. And they're not any needs that I know that I can't handle. Like, okay, the kid's gonna what? They're gonna need food. So we'll figure out how to get food. They're going to need to use the restroom. I know how to change a diaper. This is okay. We'll cross these things as we get to it. So it's not going to be all this kind of stuff thrown at you all at once.
Right.
And there's not this existential fright of, the house is going to burn down or anything else like that.
Is that a phobia? You think there's a fear of parenting phobia?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Fear of being a
There's
parent?
got to be. But there's this quote in Superman, and I love it. It's the new one that came out, and no spoilers here. But the dad, Superman's dad, what's his name? I don't know what his name is. Anyway, doesn't matter. He's having a talk with Superman or Clark Kent. Spoiler: Superman's Clark Kent.
No way. Seriously?
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
Dang.
Sorry,
I thought
ruined
it
it.
was Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. That's Marvel.
Marvel who?
Yeah.
Oh, Marvel, the people Marvel.
The comic book.
Got it.
And he says a parent's job is not to control who their kid is going to be. It's to give them the tools to become who they are, basically, to have become self-actualized. He said that, your kid's going to go out and they're going to screw up. Our job is to be able to give them the tools to go and screw up and recover from those screw ups.
Yeah.
And not to try and sit there and control who this individual is or what they're supposed to be or whatever else.
Let them learn.
It's that, hey, when you fall, I've taught you how to get back up.
Yep.
And I'm still going to be here to support you the entire way, And so that's the way that my grandparents always approached me. They told me how things were exactly like they were. They never minced words, and they were very straight and to the point, which is why I don't like to play games with people. Come up to me and tell me just exactly how it is. How bad is it? I don't care. Dude sawed his arm off. He's bleeding on the floor. Okay, well, let's go take care of this. Let's go get it. I'll react to it after the fact, because right now we got to take care of it.
Yeah.
And
Mission focused.
I think though too that it's times have changed so much now where I think, and we've talked about this in prior podcasts, where it's just like I sometimes think parents are more their friend rather than parenting and letting them know that, we fail. We're going to fail. We're not going to do things, and you shouldn't be afraid to, and I know people are afraid to fail, but it's a part of life. I mean, when I'm coaching, I'm like, hey, we're going to lose games. Okay. I mean, I had one team where it's like every time we lost, they'd all start crying. And then I was like, this is a part of life. We're not going to win games. And then all of a sudden I had one group, and they were such a great group to coach. It's like they lost, and it's just like, all right, what do we do next? Practice tomorrow. Okay. We lost in a championship game. They're like, all right, are we going to go eat, coach?
Yeah.
Yep, let's go eat. Let's go.
Pizza.
Let's go and enjoy the great season we had. But it's just like you said, the ability to teach your kid to get back up, and not only just get back up, but get back up on their own.
Right.
That's the thing I think that
they have the power.
They have the power, and today I think a lot of that is missing because it's so much here. Let me call mom and dad, and mom and dad are going to fix it for us.
Yeah.
So,
John, you are a dog lover. Let me ask you this. When you take Ivy and your past dogs out and about, do you run into a lot of people that are fearful of dogs?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, when you're walking around with a 175-pound dog that looks like Turner and Hooch, and, he's friendly could be, but
Awesome
with all the
dog,
drool and all that stuff.
Yep.
Hanky, God rest your soul, Rainbow Bridge, buddy, we love you. He was a friendly dog, but if you just see him walking, I mean, there's times when my wife would take Hank, and like people would cross the street, and when we would, the pizza guy would come, and Hanky would come to the door and he'd bark, and he would always like, hey, can you come outside and pay me because I'm not getting close to your door, because he obviously had a fear of dogs, and we even had a friend who they got bit at a young age and was just like, that one bite was just like, no, I'm not going,
All right, but Ivy weighs how much?
Well, today she's a little bit on the heavy side. She's weighing 21.
21 pounds.
21-pound French.
There are
Normally,
people
I like to keep her about 19, so we're doing a little bit of cardio 2 or 3 times
There
a
are
day.
people that fear Ivy.
There are. Oh,
She's tiny.
100%.
It's just that, okay, like Ricky said, trauma, past experience, a bad experience somewhere or something. But gosh, I take Bella for a walk, and just some of the reactions sometimes you're like, man, those people.
Or they walk across the street.
Yeah,
it's like
stay away from me.
Yeah.
Yep.
They see you coming, and they're like, no.
And some don't even may have never even encountered a dog have something negative. It's just the fact that that's their fear. That's
right.
They're afraid of. So I was doing some research, and have you guys ever heard of optophobia?
Optophobia.
Here's the phobia. It's the fear of opening one's eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did hear that.
And if you think about that from a standpoint of like,
Anxiety.
oh my gosh, oh, the anxiety and all that other stuff, that's just crazy to think that would, I mean, that would even be a phobia. But I mean, there's also fear of yellow. There's a fear of banana phobia.
Wait, fear of the color yellow?
Yeah, fear of bananas.
That's a fear with a peel.
But hey, how about this one? According to Chapman University survey, okay? I don't know where Chapman University is, but it says,
That's okay.
however, in the United States, the top fear is
Spiders.
is the fear of a corrupt government officials.
Well, good thing we have nothing
And that's
to worry
daily.
about.
I don't know. That's just another one that popped up. All right, so let's do this.
Wait. Let me ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
Spiders or snakes? You got to be within 2 feet of one.
Neither. That's my next question. So you jumped my thing.
Oh,
so we're gonna a little bit of before we end our show tonight. We're gonna have a little fun with Would You Rather.
Oh boy.
No,
All right. So Scott and Ricky, would you rather be mauled by a shark or attacked by a grizzly bear? As the Jeopardy sound plays in the background or whatever.
I'm gonna go with the bear.
No.
Just rip
Not
my
even.
face off, or I think I can run better than I can swim. So if I got any chance of getting away at all,
No.
I said this
I am
earlier.
going to be on the ground.
I said this earlier.
and I'm going to be with the bear.
High
But
five.
here's the thing: you can't. You're not.
Yep.
No, this is it.
It's the right
Here's thing.
answer.
Shark bites you, boom, you're done.
Nope.
You bite you right there.
Nope.
Bear's gonna take your face off.
Nope.
You're still gonna be alive. He's gonna rip one of your arms off. He's gonna throw it up and play with it for a little bit. Then he's gonna like rip a leg off.
Wait,
and
it'll be
you're
like
still
Ricky
gonna be
at that surgery where he's watching
I
everything.
was gonna say I'll just be sitting there watching. I'm like, oh,
No.
where's my arm?
No.
I guess.
No.
John, can you're a good swimmer?
I'd be dead. I mean, I'm
You're
like,
not. You're not. You're saying you're going to
if,
die.
If you were going to die, would you rather be
Notice
death
he
by
didn't leave
shark
with
or
that.
death by grizzly bear?
Notice he didn't
I was
leave with
thinking
that
I could
piece of
get away. You know,
I've
hide.
seen you run. You ain't running past no bear.
True statement.
All right. So if you were going to die, would you rather have it be by a shark or by a grizzly bear?
I still think grizzly bear.
No way, man. You're still alive. He's going to play with you and just like shark, just and then you're gone.
I think he's gonna take one bite and that's gonna be it. Because he's probably gonna bite at the head, and that's gonna be the end. And a shark's probably gonna bite you in your torso, and you're gonna bleed out in the water and all that kind of mess. And
It's all right, but it'd be quick.
Well,
Bear
but then-
grabs me. He's going to rip my arm off and go,
But there's
This
gonna be
little-
like other fish coming around,
This old
biting
guy
on
tastes
you
like
and
barbecue.
nibbling on you and all that mess. No.
No.
There's going to be other sounds. The bear will get distracted and run away, and then I
No, you
might
can't
not have
run
an
away.
arm.
That's
but-
the point. All right, so here's the next one.
Grizzly.
Would you rather skydive or hang glide? If you had to pick one of those two, dude.
Is this a tandem skydive?
No, just like go, not a
Okay.
death.
Like I got an instructor with me as
No,
I
it's
dive?
like you jump out of a plane with the parachute on, or you're on a hang glide.
Oh, a hang glide, 100%. In fact, I would actually go and do hang
Isn't that the
gliding.
thing with you move your hands and your feet
Yeah.
are strapped up there?
Yeah, I would do that. I would not skydive.
I don't know. That'd be tough. Either one would be tough, honestly.
I think hang gliding sounds fun.
I saw this thing on this video the other night where they weren't even tandems. It just your chute opens right after they push you out, and it just opens up and everyone was going.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This one girl had this fear. She was all happy, and then when they got ready to push, she was screaming. My luck, they pushed me out. My chute would open, hit the propeller, and then there I go. That would be my luck. But hopefully, I would land into the ocean. Then the shark could just have me there, rather than land in a tree and the bear pulls me out and mauls me. All right, here's one for you. Would you rather be punched in the face or punched in the kidney?
Oh, punch me in the face.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, face all day long.
Have you ever had a kidney shot?
Just double over.
Yeah, no.
I had a guy, I was working out years ago. I was working out at this gym. I was actually working there. And this bodybuilder guy, he's just like, we just started talking about random stuff. He goes, have you ever had a kidney punch? I'm like, no. And he just comes up and he punches me in my kidney. And it wasn't even hard enough to point where it's like, if he really wanted to, I could have just like, my head probably would have exploded. But he punched me. It felt like it was so hard. But I mean, I even watched him because I said, yeah, go ahead. And just enough that I literally went to my knees the minute he made contact. It was horrible.
So I used to take karate, and one of the things that they told us always was to punch them in the kidneys every single time.
I don't know what it is, but it stops everything.
They said it'll make them pee their pants. I don't know how.
So here's the next thing. Could you punch a shark in a kidney or a bear in a kidney?
I think a bear.
Do sharks have kidneys?
That's a good. That's why I say I don't know, man.
Yeah, me neither. All right, so next one. Would you rather sit in a tub full of spiders or a tub full of snakes?
I'm going with spiders.
I think I'd go spiders as well.
Tarantulas, spiders, or Texas rattlesnake tub?
Tarantulas. Tarantulas are not near as known to bite.
All right, brown recluse.
Yeah, brown recluses only live in like the shadows and the.
Once
They're only in
again,
the tub.
Well,
once again, folks, episode 7 was on the afterlife, so
Yeah.
just rewind and listen to episode 7.
All right, here's another one. Back in. Would you rather be attacked by a lion or a gorilla?
gorilla.
How about neither?
No, you have to have one. Lion attack or gorilla attack?
I think a gorilla would knock me out before it kills me.
Yeah, you just hit me right in my chest and be just like,
Just throw you around like a rag doll.
yeah.
That'd be
I,
right.
Yeah, I think I would go gorilla too. Because then at least I could like look in his eyes, talk to him a little bit.
You can sweet talk him.
All right, would you rather fall out of a plane or drown?
I'd rather drown.
Man, I don't know.
I'll take the plane.
Now, see, I think I would do drown too, because at least you know what's going to happen. When you're falling, you're waiting to make that impact to be like, no.
Yeah, but I can see all the nature around me as I'm falling.
I just have a few minutes.
Gives me some time to, throw a Hail Mary in there as I'm coming
well,
down.
Too, that's not a bad idea. I might do the plane thing. All right, would you rather lose a finger or a toe?
So,
Toe.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know. You'd always walk with a limp, though.
that'd be fine.
All right. Would you rather lose your teeth? No, that wasn't a very good one. All right. That's our what would you rather. So, folks, as always, thanks so much for listening to us here on Old and Bitter. We hope you enjoy our podcast. We're just having some fun. We're 3 old crusty guys just trying to get a bunch of listeners. So if you listen to us, share it. And yeah, if you want to email us, you can email us where, Ricky?
oldandbitterpodcast@gmail.com.
oldandbitterpodcast@gmail.com. We still got a lot of coffee mugs to give away, so hit us up on that. So for Scott and Ricky, and Ivy has made her way in here all night, or what did I say,
21 now.
21 pounds of this little Frenchie rescue. I'm John saying thank you guys so much for being a part of our night, and have a great weekend.